Hector the Horrid. Thomas the Tank Engine enjoys shunting troublesome trucks. He can biff them harder and faster than any other engine. It's one of his favorite jobs. One morning, Sir Topham Hatt had an important announcement. "James and Edward must make extra deliveries of coal," he boomed. "Thomas, you must shunt and fill freight cars at the coaling plant. James and Edward, you must collect them this afternoon." Thomas was very pleased. Just then, Bill and Ben chuffed by. Between them was a big black truck. It was biffing and bashing the little engines. "What are you two doing?" tooted Thomas. Bill and Ben told him they were delivering the truck to the coaling plant. "Why does it need two engines to deliver one truck?" asked Thomas.
"Because he really doesn't like to be shunted,"
chuffed Ben.
"His name is Hector,"
huffed Bill.
"but we call him Hector the Horrid."
Bill and Ben shoved slowly away with Hector. "He does look troublesome," huffed James. "Troublesome trucks don't worry me," boasted Thomas. "I could biff him firmly into place." Later, Thomas chuffed into the coaling plant, and there was Hector. The other trucks giggled and laughed.
"Big, bad, strong, and solid. That truck's name is Hector the Horrid,"
they sang. Thomas puffed closer.
"Keep away!"
roared Hector. Bill and Ben were right, thought Thomas. Hector is scary, and Hector is horrid. Thomas decided to keep away. Thomas spent the morning shunting the other freight cars and filling them with coal. All the time, Thomas could feel Hector the Horrid watching him. The coaling plant manager came to see Thomas.
"We need an extra large delivery," he said, "so Rosie is coming to help you. You must shunt and fill Hector. Then add him to the back of James's train,"
he told Thomas. Later, Rosie puffed into the yard. She saw Hector. "Wow, do we have to shunt and fill that big truck, Thomas?" she asked sweetly. "Yes," puffed Thomas, "but he doesn't want to be shunted. His name is..." But before Thomas could finish, Hector opened his mouth and let out the biggest roar ever.
"Keep away!"
he bellowed. Rosie was so surprised she shook from funnel to footplate, and she steamed straight out of the yard. This made Thomas cross. Hector had biffed and bashed Bill and Ben. He had shouted at Thomas, and he had frightened Rosie so much that she had puffed away. Now the extra delivery would never be ready. Thomas had had enough. He puffed up bravely in front of Hector and gave him a mighty biff. Hector rolled backwards. He was very cross.
"Keep away!"
he roared. "No, I won't," tooted Thomas crossly. "You are causing confusion and delay. You really are horrid." Then, with one mighty biff, Thomas sent Hector rolling backwards into a set of buffers. Hector crashed off the track. Thomas felt very bad. He hadn't meant to knock Hector over. Thomas puffed up to Hector. Hector lay on his side, looking very sad. Now Hector didn't seem so horrid. "I'm sorry I biffed you so hard," wheezed Thomas, "but why don't you want to be shunted?" Because I'm scared, moaned Hector.
Why? Asked Thomas.
I'm new, he groaned. And I'm scared because I haven't been filled with coal before. I don't know what it feels like. That's why I didn't want to be shunted, he added.
Thomas was surprised. Later, Rocky and the workmen arrived and lifted Hector back onto the tracks. Thomas wanted to help Hector.
Sometimes I'm scared when I have to do something new, he chuffed. But coal isn't scary.
Hector watched as Thomas rolled under the coal hopper. Black, dusty coal poured into Thomas's coal box. When the dust settled, Hector saw that Thomas was smiling. "See? It's not scary," tooted Thomas proudly.
Now Hector was excited.
"I'd like to be filled with coal too," he rumbled.
"We must hurry," puffed Thomas.
Thomas pulled Hector quickly under the coal hopper. Hector was quickly filled with coal. It felt wonderful. Then Thomas shunted Hector into place, just in time. James and Edward puffed into the yard. They saw their waiting trains. James was very surprised to see Hector at the back. "Well done, Thomas," snorted James. The trains were soon coupled up. James and Edward puffed away for their special deliveries. They were very surprised to hear Thomas whistle, "Good luck!" But the whistle wasn't for them. It was Thomas tooting to his new friend, Hector the Not Horrid at All.
Whatever job you're doing, make sure you're doing it right. Start each day the proper way, all polished, shining bright. Do your best but still have fun, so when you come home at night, you can say in every way you try to do things right.
Don't go racing through the fog, that's when you must take care. Help the other engines as there's always work to share. Take on coal and water to see you through the day, and you'll get used to doing everything the proper way.
Whatever job you're doing, make sure you're doing it right. Start each day the proper way, all polished, shining bright. Do your best but still have fun, so when you come home at night, you can say in every way you try to do things right.
Wait till everyone's on board before you're wishing steam. Clear the snow with snow paths, follow Harold's shining beam. Whistle out a warning when there's trouble up ahead. How proud you're going to feel when you go home to Tidmouth Sheds.
Whatever job you're doing, make sure you're doing it right. Start each day the proper way, all polished, shining bright. Do your best but still have fun, so when you come home at night, you can say in every way you try to do things right.
You can say in every way you try to do things right.